Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to get started installing the required software in order for you to run and program in Kotlin. So the first piece of software that is very essential is the Java JDK. Now, most of you may have heard of the Java JDK, and basically it is the development kit basically that is made by Oracle that allows you to use the Java subsystem for programming. So it's really not that hard to install. All you have to do is just fire up the browser of your choice and just search for the Java JDK. It's as simple as that, really. So once you've searched for the Java JDK, it should open up in the first link down below. So Java SE Development Kit 8, that is the latest version as of this recording, and it's going to show you this wonderful little box right here with the development kit downloads, and it basically asks you to accept the license agreement or decline it. So you can go through the license agreement, but it's going to be quite long, so that's really up to you. So you then have your basically your different operating systems from which you can download, and they are different architectures. So if you want Linux, you have 64-bit and 32-bit versions of the JDK, and for different versions of Linux you have the Debian and RPM format. You can basically extract it and run it in your home directory. If you're running this on Windows, you have your 64-bit and 32-bit versions. So if you're running a 32-bit version, you can download the x86 version right here. If you're running the 64-bit version of Windows, you can download the x64 version, which is what I have. Now I already have downloaded it, so I'm going to basically skip that step and we're going to get started with the installation. So just close up your browser once you're done downloading the file, and it should be this little icon here. The installation should be the same regardless of your system architecture, whether you're 32-bit or 64-bit. So all you have to do is just double click it and it should open up the installer. It could take a while depending on your system, but mine has already started the setup. Just give it a few seconds, shouldn't take that long. And it has started the installation process, so it's going to open the installer. That took quite a while, but it shouldn't take more than a minute, I think, to say the least. All right, so here we are. It's going to say welcome to the installation wizard for Java, the Java development kit. So it's going to start computing the installation requirements, and all you have to do is hit next. Don't change anything right here. Hit next, and it's going to start installing the Java JDK. So give it a few minutes, or I think about 2 minutes for it to install. Again, it all depends on your computer's performance. So just let this run and I'll get back to you once it's done. Alright, and once it starts installing the Java, just let it continue. Again, it shouldn't take too much time, but I'm going to skip this process until it's done, and I'll meet you there. Alright, and once it's actually done installing Java, it's going to tell you the Java SE Development Kit update 131, basically the latest version of this of Java as of the recording, has been installed successfully. So you want to just hit close. Now, to perform a basic test to see whether Java is fully integrated, this is basically what you have to do. I want you to basically search for CMD or your command prompt. So you just want to search for CMD in your search menu. This will work on any version of Windows. So you can be running this on Windows 10, Windows 8.1, Windows 7. Just search for your CMD, which is your command prompt. I have mine right here. So just open it up and it's going to start up. And all you have to do is just hit Java. All right. So you just want to hit Java, and it's going to, if it gives you this result, it means that Java is fully integrated. If it doesn't give you this result, what you have to do basically is you have to go into your computer and you have to go into this PC right here and go into your properties section. All right. Now, once it opens your properties section, you want to go into advanced system settings. All right. Now, once you've opened advanced system settings, you want to go into environment variables. So you want to open that, and you want to go into the path section right here. So this is basically under system variables. You want to go into the path section and just hit edit. All right. Now in the path section, you basically want to go now into, you leave that open and you want to go back into your computer and open your local disk, see where your Windows is installed, basically your system hard drive and go into your program files and go into scroll all the way down into your Java folder, and you want to go into the Java JDK folder right here and open this folder. Now once you're in the Java JDK folder, you're going to go up here to the basically the location tree or the directory tree up here. This is basically showing you all the locations, and you just want to right click and copy address. Once you've copied the address, you want to come here and hit new. All right. So basically, when edit the environment variable, just hit new and paste that location there. As you can see, mine is already there. If this doesn't work, just add a backslash and add the bin. Just add the bin section right there. As you can see, I already have added mine, so I don't need to. So I'm just gonna delete this one right here. So this is basically what you want to have. And once you're done, just hit OK, and you should be good to go in terms of Java. So that's basically it for this video. In the next video, we're gonna get started installing Intellij, which is basically our editor that we're going to be using for Kotlin, to learn Kotlin, and we'll get started with Android Studio when it comes to integrating Kotlin with Android Studio. Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to get started installing Intellij, which is basically an IDE that we're going to be using for Kotlin. Now you can use Intellij for many other programming languages, but it's very well suited for Kotlin programming. So an IDE basically means an integrated development environment, and it just makes working with Kotlin a lot easier. It allows the installation of plugins and so much more, and it'll just make your learning experience and your usability of Kotlin a whole lot better. So it's very simple to download. It's free. So just fire up your favorite browser like usual, and we can get started immediately. So just a Google search for Intellij, which is basically intelligence but without the intelligence, and basically Intellij, very nice name they used for it, and it's going to be the first one right here. So Intellij, the Java IDE for professional developers. As I said, it works with a lot of other programming languages, and it's very well suited for Kotlin. In fact, it is the recommended IDE for Kotlin. So just click on the first link and hit download. It's a very beautiful website, as you can see, and yeah, just hit download. And basically you have your you have two versions of Intellij. You have the Ultimate Edition and the Community Edition, which basically have a few differences. As you can see, the license is commercial, and with the community, the license here is open source Apache 2.0. The supported languages are, for the community and the ultimate version, are both Kotlin, Java, Groovy, Scala. You also have Android support. You have Maven, Gradle, SBT. You have Git, and you have basically Perforce, which the rest of these, which are more specialized. So basically specialized programming languages. For example, you have JavaScript, you have SQL, which really you don't really need. All we need basically right here is Java and Kotlin, which I would recommend Intellij IDE for. Basically, it performs really well with Java and of course Kotlin. So you can basically buy the ultimate version if you want, but it's going to work perfectly with the community version, which is what I have. So just go down right here and download. If you're running Windows, it's going to automatically detect the system you're running on and give you the .exe file extension version right here. But if you're using, you don't want to download a setup, you can download the zip file, which is basically a portable version. You can just run it without installing. You then have your macOS.dmg file, you have your linux.tar.gz file, and Linux right here. So all you have to do is just hit download. It's quite a big file, and it'll basically take you through the installation process. So once you hit download, it should automatically say IDE is ready to download, and it's 343 megabytes, which I do not need to download since I already have it installed. The installation process is very simple. All you have to do is just run through the setup. It's a simple setup wizard, and it's going to just finish installing and you're good to go. So once it's finished installing, it's going to give you this right here, the Intellij shortcut. You can basically run it from there. I already have mine pinned to my taskbar right here. Just open it up, and it should open up quite fast rather. There we are. So it's going to say Intellij IDEA Community 2017.1. So let this start up. Shouldn't take that long, and voila, it should open up nice and fresh looking. Now yours might be slightly different, yours might not have the dark theme, and what we can do is I can just show you the basics right now. So if you want to create a new project, all you have to do is hit create new project. You want to import one, pretty self-explanatory, just import, or you can open files of your choice. Now you can basically configure how Intellij looks and how the Java JDK interacts. So we're going to get started with that. So go into configure and settings, just click on settings, and it should open up quite fast, and this should be minimized like so. And if you want to change the appearance, just open the appearance menu right here and go into the appearance section. I'm currently using the Dracula theme. You can use the Intellij theme, which is a white theme. You can then switch back to Windows, which is a classic theme, and I'll switch back to Dracula, which is a dark theme, and that's just easier on my eyes. So in here you can basically change your font size, which I will increase just for the easy readability of my code when running through this set of lectures. So you can also adjust that to whatever you feel is comfortable. Now all you have to do is just hit apply once you're done making the necessary changes. Now you want to go into editor. All right, now in editor you want to go into general, open up general, and when it comes to code completion, if you're looking for code completion, you can basically look it up here. For those of you who are already familiar with how code completion work, if you're not familiar, don't worry, I'll get into that later, so you don't need to really look into that. Now go into your system settings under appearance and behavior. Let me just close editor, and you want to go to path variables. Now in your path variables section right here, this is basically just to check whether your Kotlin and your Maven repositories are there, but basically we are just checking for Kotlin. And if you have already installed Intellij, it comes pre-bundled with Kotlin, so you're pretty much good there. But just make sure you check this to obviously make sure that it's working. All right, now once you're done with that, you can basically you can go into, hold on, let me just check this. I think that's basically it in terms of what you need to check. When coming down to your compiler, you might want to take a look at your Java compiler. If you probably followed the previous tutorial and you made sure that Java is already running, you should be good. So just hit OK, and you should be good to get started. If you want to check out other settings, you can look at the settings repository, and that'll probably open up a browser, or it'll open up a hypertext markup page, but we really don't need to do that right now. So let's get started, and we can basically do that in the next video. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to get started running our first Kotlin program, and I'm going to be showing you how to set up Intellij IDEA and creating a new project where we can get started working with Kotlin. So open up your Intellij, and it's very simple. As I said, once it's finished installing, just double click on the shortcut on your desktop or run it from whatever your location you've stored it at. Now once it opens this page, what you're going to do is just hit create new project. If you haven't created a project already, this is the screen you should get. So create new project. All right, it's going to open up a window, and here we are. So it's going to open, the first menu it's going to open up is Java, and you just want to stick to that. Now it's going to show you some additional libraries and framework. All right, so in here you just want to select Kotlin Java. Just make sure that's ticked, and that's all we need to do right now. So just make sure you hit Kotlin Java. Now when looking up here, we have something called the project SDK. Now remember, we installed the Java JDK and we gave it a location. It's under your program files and the Java folder. So if you don't see any Java version right here, you basically want to go into new, and you want to browse to that directory. So I said it's in your C drive where your Windows is installed, in your program files, and all the way down to where your Java folder exists, and you just want to select your JDK folder. It's as simple as that. So mine is already selected, so I don't really need to do that. So again, make sure Java Kotlin is ticked right here, not Java JavaScript, Java Kotlin, and just leave everything else as it is and hit next. And you want to obviously give it a name. So we're going to start with first, let's call it first project. All right, and I'm going to store it on my desktop. I'm going to give it a new folder. I'm going to call it a new folder. I'm going to call it Kotlin. Let's call it the Kotlin class. And I'm just going to create a new folder inside the Kotlin class. I suggest you guys do this as well. I'm going to call it first project. All right, and I'm going to save it in there. Again, you can save it in any folder, but I recommend that you guys actually do it in a much organized way that will suit you. So I'm going to save mine in my desktop in a folder called the Kotlin class in the first project folder. So just hit OK. I'm going to save it basically, as you can see over there. You can save it wherever you want, and I'm going to hit finish, and it should start up the Intellij IDEA editor. Again, this will start up depending on the speed and the performance of your computer. So if you have a fast computer, this will load faster. If you have a slow computer, don't worry, it'll still end up loading for you. So it's going to open up this editor, and you're going to see some pretty weird stuff if this is your first time using Intellij. And I want you guys to just calm down and just relax. Don't be overwhelmed by these editors. They're really just there to make your programming experience a lot easier. So let it just complete indexing the files as it's saying down here. And once it's done, we can actually get started and I can explain the structure of how a Kotlin program works. So once that's done, it's basically going to be it's going to leave you to it, and you can basically get started. So up here we have the project. You have your project browser where you can basically browse the folders that are currently in your project folder. And here you have the editor section where you edit your code, and I'll get to that. So you just want to open this, and it's going to show you some very weirdly named files. And again, don't be bothered by this. It's going to show you an idea. Don't touch that, and it's going to show you your src folder. Now your src folder is where all your Kotlin classes will go into. So for those of you who don't know what classes are, class is a collection of functions, and you may be asking yourself, what is a function? Well, a function basically performs a specific task, and we'll get into that once I'm explaining the basics of programming. Now again, your src will store your Java classes or your Kotlin classes in this case. So you just want to right click on this to create a Kotlin class, and you just want to go to new. All right, and you'll see something here called the Kotlin class. You want to open that up, and it's going to ask you for a name. So let's give it a name. Let's call it hello world. Let's begin with something as simple as that. You guys can name it whatever you want again, and just hit OK, right? And once you hit OK, it's going to create the Kotlin class, and it's going to give you some commentation. So it's going to say created by your username on the date created. All right. If you get a notification like this telling you to update Kotlin, please do so. I'm not going to do mine right now. I'm going to do it a bit later. So basically, you just want to get rid of this comment file unless you need it, which I doubt. Now, this is basically your Kotlin class, and you can basically start writing code here. Now, as I said, this is a class, and that means the class contains functions. Now in Kotlin, we basically create a function by writing fun. Pretty fun. That's a function. So fun is a function, and we're going to use the abbreviation main. This is the main function in the class which we created here, which is hello world. So function main. All right. And once we have the function main, we're going to open brackets. All right. And we're going to say args, which are arguments. I'll explain what this basically means. And we're going to say array. All right. And it's going to give you code suggestions. These are basically suggestions here that are trying to help you basically saving your time. We're going to open some equality brackets right there, and we're going to type in string. All right. And we're just going to go over to the end after the brackets and open two curly braces. Now in the curly braces, you just want to expand one of them. Just hit enter, and there you have it. This is basically your Kotlin function. Now everything that you want to do basically comes right in here. So let me explain what this function basically stands for. So you have your function, which is fun main. which for some of you who have done, or I don't know how many of you have actually done programming, main is basically the function that is first executed when you run a program. So this will run first, and it's going to say args, which are arguments. You don't really need to know what this section means right here. This is quite advanced stuff that we will get to soon. And just know that this is a function, and in the function you can basically do whatever you want to do. So in this case, we want to print out hello world. So it's very simple in Kotlin. All you have to do is just hit print, all right, and open brackets, and basically open the speech marks, and just hit hello world. And basically what this will do is will print hello world. Now I will get to basically printing a single line in a few seconds. So once this is done, all you want to do is hit Control Save, all right, if you're running Windows, or you could just go here and hit Save All. You can go to File and hit Save All, and what you do is just right click in your editor and just hit Run, and it's going to run this program. And hopefully, if we have done everything right so far, it should tell us that we have actually printed the words hello world. So let this run. It's going to start building. Of course, this is the first time we are basically running this compiler, so it will take a few seconds, but hopefully this gets faster as we continue increasing the code. So there we are. It's going to open this console, and it's going to print hello world. So there we are, guys. That's basically how to run your first Kotlin program and how to basically make it say something. Now again, if I was to basically just print another sentence right here, hello world, say welcome to Kotlin, all right, and I was to basically save this, so Control S, and I was to run this, it would basically, as you'll see, basically right now it'll take a short amount of time to compile this code. What you would see is it would basically print it on the same line. Now if you don't want that, all you have to do is just basically print, and after you just want to hit print ln, all right, and that basically means print line, and that will print hello world on its own single individual line, and will not conjoin to this second statement right here. So basically what print line means, it's printing a sentence on its own, and it wants anything that is going to be printed after that to be printed below this. So if we Control Save this and we run this, it should hopefully say hello world on one line and print welcome to Kotlin on the other. And there you have it. It's as simple as that. Very, very simple programming language to grasp. And that's basically it for this video. I hope this has been very, very interesting and engaging for you guys. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.